Hello, everyone. It is me. I'm back. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Orange Pen Studios, and I put together this little concept of Marvel Rivals for the Wii U. Sorry, first time doing this. Gamepad controls. I'm mainly focusing on gameplay controls for this presentation, mostly because I don't want to get into the actual technical stuff, and that will become apparent in a bit. For gamepad, the controls would be practically the same as controller on PC or console. But while you would have the option on playing on a television or monitor and a gamepad at the same time, the gamepad screen would be turned into sort of the scoreboard, so you don't have to pause the game and you can just look down and see how well you're doing, how many kills you got. Obviously, the thing. You could probably also turn on and off motion controls if you wanted to. Universal nunchuck controls. B button will always be your primary fire. Control stick will always be your movement. Shaking the Wii remote, assuming you have a Wiimote Plus or something, will always be reload. Up on the D-pad is Alt, and any other team-ups or actions to trigger team-ups would be the other stuff on the D-pad, just a little cross key. Now we're going to get into character-specific controls. One note is, I built these controls with the Wiimote Blaster in mind for controls, partially because I want to play Punisher with this thing. I think it would be really cool, and as such, I'm just imagining you having it in your hands, looking at a TV/monitor, aiming it around, and I will be using this specific layout as sort of the intended way to play. Let's start off in alphabetical order. Adam Warlock. First of all, Z button, which is pretty good. It's just a blast. It's just Galactic Cluster. Heal, Soul Bond, A button, Soul Bond, and D-pad. I forgot to remove that mid thing. Oh well. To the fire radio, whatever. I did this mostly because Z button, you're using cluster a lot. You're not being very precise. C button is usually relegated for precision things, so healing someone seems pretty precision-like to me. Soul Bond, you're not really shooting much after Soul Bond, you're just going up and doing it. So, yeah. Because your hand's going to be off the trigger, and you're just not going to be able to do it. Let's go Blade. Yes, we're skipping Angela. When I made this presentation, I hadn't played her yet, and I didn't feel like adding her. Bloodline Awakening, I think... Alright. I did this a bit differently. I was very concerned on how to do this. I personally don't use switch weapon when I play Blade. I just either go into Bloodline Awakening, which is his sword vampiric strike form, and then I just go press the button again to get out of it. Daywalker Dash is, of course, his dash. Scarlet Shroud is his block. You're not shooting while you're blocking, you're just walking away. So you don't need to have your finger on the trigger. And of course, switch weapon. Black Widow, Z's to aim. You're just going to be sitting there holding it most of the time. Very good. The C button, edge kick. You want to have that as soon as you can because it's very important. A button, fleet foot. You want to go fast? You go fast with it. Again, I usually use fleet foot to roll out and get to point easily, or get to a good spot to snipe from. when I play Widow. So, and one button, as we saw with Blade, is switch to batons. Black Panther! Ooh, this is going to be really hard for you to control. Z button is Spear Toss. It's a projectile. You just toss it and it hits. Spirit Rend, his dash, needs to be accessible in order for him to be playable. So, precision, it's going to get the C button for precision as usual. A button is Spin Kick, and I don't really use Subtle Step, so I relegated it to button 1. Bruce Banner / Hulk. Banner doesn't have much ability, so I'm just lumping him with Hulk. Z button, you're usually jumping a lot, so yeah. C button, which is radioactive lockdown, his stun, or one gamma burst could be swapped, either or. It wouldn't really affect much. I feel like lockdown is much more of a necessity or something you think of when you use Hulk. And Indestructible Guard, that's his bubbles. So, yeah. You're usually pressing it, then immediately going into fighting. Captain America, Z button is shield, as it is will be for most tanks with shields. Also, primary fire when he's midair would be his dive. I didn't put it in there because it's primary fire adjacent, and you use it anyways like that. C button would be shield bash. I'm not really. It could also be shield throw. You could quite easily swap those. But A button will, of course, be his run like Black Widow. So, and I didn't want to have to do this, but one is his shield throw. Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is interesting because they have 2 different move sets. However, A button being switch and very good. The Veils will be the Z button, which is the blankets. The blankets, the healing blanket. No, you cannot see anymore blanket. Dagger Storm is the bubble, and Dark Teleportation is Cloak's intangibility effect. Which, now that it's on a key that you can get, it would be easier to hit avoid ults. Doctor Strange. His shield is Z. C would be his burst, which is Maelstrom of Madness. It's his dark magic burst. A would be Cloak of Levitation. To just get out of there, his float into the air. And then, why I put Portal as 1? Because Portal, very good part of his kit. But you're not really using it mid-fight, so it can be there. No one Strange's Portal. The Wii U, being the old system it is, cannot handle Strange's Portal. It just can't. There's no way it works. So it's going to work like the teleporters on Arako and Krakoa, except you can set it up yourself and choose where you drop into. I feel like that would be the best fit for the game, and it wouldn't be that hard to implement as you are putting something into the game already. Very good. Emma Frost, another character with a different stance switch. A is Diamond form. However, mine's Aegis, which is the shield, would be Z. And would also be Crystal Kick because I don't know. C. The C button, as for precision, we would be using Psychic Spear, which is the little crystal thing that deals damage to the opponent. Then would be Carbon Crush, the Choke Slam. Which, yes, very good. I feel like both of those are pretty precision based, so it makes sense. Groot, Z button, Spore Bomb. Yeah, I feel like that would feel good. C button would be Thorrash Wall, Ironwood Wall. And one is Furious Flora. No one ever uses Furious Flora, I think. Z button, Hawkeye, Crescent Slash. It's a good get off me tool and very wide area, so it doesn't make sense if it was in the precision slot. That's why it's going to Hypersonic Arrow, which is much more precision based. And A button would be your switch arrows, and one key would be Skyward Leap. Hela. Z button would be the lots of spears thing that's called Piercing Knight. C button would be her like grenade thing, which is like very good. Astral Flick would be her crow form, which would get her out of places. Human Torch, Z button, Blazing Blast. That's his little things that he puts on the floor. Very good for him. Yeah, it would just be very convenient to have that at a click of a button. Same thing with C. You're being kind of precise when you smash down. A button is Pyro Prison. I feel like you're going with the animation of him going up where you can't shoot during it. Makes sense to put it there. Plasma Body move. You're not really using it unless you're like really good. And this is for a more casual audience, anyways. So yeah. Invisible Woman. Wait, did I miss a slide? No, I didn't. Sorry. Z button. Guardian Shield. You want to place that shield down on people. Psionic Vortex. C button could either go to Force Physics or Psionic Vortex. However, I picked Force Psionic Vortex, which is, I believe, the orb that deals damage. As you're throwing it out, it's like more of a spot you hit. A button is Force Physics, which poofs out which is her push away or grab. And I want you to press A, you get sent into the choice state. You press Z to pull in, or primary fire to shoot out. Make sense? Iron Fist. Iron Fist is Dragon's Defense, which is his parry slash form. And then C button would be Kunlun Kick, because that's kind of like technical. Sorry. A button would be Crane Leap. Double jumping is very integral to his kit, so I feel like having his double jump being more accessible, makes sense for his character. One would be his healing meditation thing then, which you're only ever using post-fight anyways, so it makes sense. Iron Man. Z button is Unibeam. And then C button could be his Micro Missile Barrage. Honestly, you could switch those two and it would be fine. In fact, it might even feel better. And A button would be his Armor Overdrive. He gets the boosts in stuff. That's where he gets his really good beam. And then one would be his movement, which you're either panicking, nope, I'm out of here. Or, I'm getting to point. That's what he does. Jethro Van Shark! My man! Obviously I'm gonna have good stuff for him. Z would be his, obviously his little, water blast thing that knocks back. And C would he be his placing down a bubble. Oh, and A would be hide and seek. Jeff didn't have much ability, so he was very easy to plan for. Oh. Okay. Video not paused. Let's go. Loki! Z would be his disappear. He would go, I'm gone. And then I feel like C button would be very good doppelganger. You could place the doppelganger down like really easily with that. And then I want you to hit A for regeneration domain, because then, bam, you're setting up domain, and he's done. Boom. One would be Devious Exchange, where he can teleport between his clones. I don't know. I don't think that last one would feel good, but what can you do, man? What can you do? Luna Snow! Z would be her absolute zero, which is the snowball stun. C button would be Snowflake, I feel like. That's fair. And A, she gets like a little power boost with Ice Arts, so it makes sense. Again, you're probably noticing patterns here. Magic! Alright, Z button would be Magic Slash. I feel like C button would be Stepping Disc, which again enters Demon Rage, which places down a demon. Again, very precision based, I think. And A button would be his her like rush forward dash. I don't know, I'm not really confident on that, but maybe it would feel good. Magneto Z button, his shield. What'd you expect? C button, the Mag Cannon. That's his knockback little shard thing that charges up over time. A button would be himself shield, while 1 would be here's your shield healers. It's just giving your shield to people. Mantis, alright. Z would be her stun. Actually no. Would be healing flower because we want people to heal. And you're just healing a lot with Mantis anyways. C button would be Spore Slumber. That is the stun. I was wrong. Because I don't know, it's more precision based. What do you want? A button, Natural Anger. She gets the power boost and gets bang, bang, bang. And you're not really inspiring anyone anyways, let's be honest. You're just healing. So you go 1. Sorry. Oh, my lungs. I can't talk like this for a while, so. Alright. Mr. Fantastic. Admittedly, I have not played much of him. Z button, Dissented Grip. I think that's his, like, grab people together thing. C button, Flexible Elongation. I think that might be either his Libra thing. Again, I was tired when I made this one. A button, Reflexive Armor. I feel like that's his giant wall thing where he turns into a wall. So, yeah. Moon Knight, Z button is Moonblade. That's his giant moon crescent thing that he throws at people. C button would place down his Ankh, which is very precision based as well, so makes sense. A button is Rising Leap, and 1 would be Moon Knight Hook. Honestly, you could switch those last 2. I don't really care. Namor, Wrath of the Seven Seas, which is his giant Boosh! Spear thing. Better spear. C button, Aquatic Dominion. That is you placing your stuff down. And I think that putting it at C will encourage players to be more mindful of where they're placing the squids in the first place. A button is your Orb in the Sky ability, which allows you to hide from damage, and since you're not really attacking, you're usually using that for defense, you switch it. And Phoenix, Telekinesis Burst, that's the little pillar things that you burst. You could place that with C. Doesn't really, you could. C button instead is Telepathic Illusion. You could swap, again, you could swap it with Z. It would still make sense. It would still feel pretty good. A button is your just hover into the sky. Penny, Z is her cyberware. Cyber web snare, sorry. I'm watching a lot of cyberpunk stuff. C button is Arachnomine. You want to be mindful of where you're placing them. Again, I think it will encourage that. Cyber Bond, that's her dash thing. And 1 is Nest. 1 is Nest because you're using it more for prep, not in the middle of a fight. Besides, you want to focus on where you're placing it anyways rather than shooting. Psylocke, Ring Shuriken for Z. That's the multiple Shuriken burst in blast thing. C button would be side blade dash, which is her dash, which makes sense. You're going woof, woof, woof. You're moving, and you're being precise with your movements. Yay. A button, psychic stealth. Hit it, you're gone. Maybe I should have done that with Loki. Probably should have done that with Loki. Maybe. Rocket Raccoon, Z button, healing orbs. You want to spam the healing orbs. That is what you do. C button is just jetpack dash. Again, you're dashing. You want to be more precise with it. A button is just your BRB. You're not really using it mid combat, so it makes sense to have your stuff off the main trigger. Z button has Cthulhu burst thing. That's her like little spear thingies. Yeah, you're using that to blast people. You could also replace it with what I prefer C button, which is her little orb sphere thing. I just put it there for consistency, but you could easily swap those because they're both pretty precision based. A button is mystical projection, which is her like astral form. You're not really fighting in astral form, so you can just fly around. Okay, I'm good. Actually, no, I didn't miss a slide. Spider-Man. Z would be his web, would be just his web flip, and C button would be his web swing. This guy was really hard to make because all of his abilities feel like they should be on the nunchuck part. They should. So I had to make compromises. A button has to be amazing combo. I'm sorry, it has to be the uppercut. And one is just get over here, which going from 1 to A should feel good. I'm sorry, Spider-Man fans, you got slaughtered. Just stick to playing gamepad, you'll be fine. Squirrel Girl, Z button for Squirrel Blockade. That's her little nut stun. Mammal Bond is the one that regenerates all her abilities. And then A is Tail Bounce, so you can get out of there. Or I put C there. I don't know. Felt right. And A being a movement thing. That's a pretty consistent theme. Squirrel Blockade. Stuns are really good to have in that position. Stellar Shift, that is his Star-Lord. Stellar Shift, that's his like little dash to the sides and stuff, which reload, which is very integral to his kit. I put Blaster Barrage as his like shoot all around him kind of move, which on C because I don't know, felt right. Rocket Propulsion A, you're literally just moving with it. You're not really in a fight that much with it, I'd say. Sorry. Blasted hearing aid. Oh, well, I'll charge it when I'm done. Rocket Propulsion, you're just flying around. You're not really fighting. Yeah. Storm. Z button would be Bolt Rush, aka her Thunderbolt. And yeah, C button, weather control. I think that's switching or enhancing the thing. Either or, very fine. You're not really doing much with it. I don't play Storm much, so. Z would be Stone Haymaker for Thing. Thing really wants to go. So, Yancey Street Charge. You're going straight at it. It makes sense. It's kind of precision based, I guess. You could easily make it in battle jump, which is to either the opponent or yourself. But I put it for A. Maybe one would be towards your opponent. I don't know. Thor. Z button is Storm Surge, which is his. That's his launch forward thing. So you can charge it up and go. Hammer throw. You're going. You're just being really precise with your hammer, trying to get that fresh recharge. You know, Awakening Rune. A. hit the button and you can go blah. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Lightning Realm, no one uses Lightning Realm. You're going for the recharge with Storm Surge and Hammer Throw. Ultron, Imperative Firewall, that's his shield. You want that. Imperative Patch, that's his drone. You want to be precise with who you're giving the drone to, you switch it with C. That's good. A button Dynamic Plate. You're not really shooting while you're in flight, are you? I hope you're not. Venom, Z button, Cellular Corrosion. More around him kind of thing. Symbiote Resistance, you want to be able to get your shields back instantly, so having it on the nunchuck was a no-brainer. C button, Midair. That's his frenzied arrival. That's where he's leaping down, again, precise, and you want to be able to hit it. A button would be Venom Swing. C button, Bionic Hook. You want to be able to hook people easily. And then maybe go into Trooper's Fist with A, but I digress. Tainted Voltage. You want to be precise with where you're aiming that dang thing, so you want to use the C button. A button is Trooper's Fist. Yeah, I already mentioned it. You're just dashing. You're not really. Maybe right after, if you're quick, you're going to have to quick with your hands. Wolverine. Z button. That's his little dash. It's called Vicious Rampage. More you know. I would have named it Berserker Barrage, but I digress. Feral Leap is his C button. That's his kidnap. You want to go wee. But, very good. You're being kind of precise with it, and it's integral to his kit, so I put it there. Undying Animal. That's boost thing, I think it is. It didn't make sense for it to be on the nunchuck, so I just put it on the A button. Oh yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you would do differently. And yeah, that's it. Bye.